This is my first video on dreadlocks. I've got other videos with my music and stuff on this same channel, but before I talk about my dreadlocks now, I want to get into the journey, or where it began, or why, really boil down to the point of why I got dreadlocks. Well, I've just always been fascinated with them. From seeing them in movies to seeing them around me, I've always been fascinated with that hairstyle. I've always been fascinated with locks. And so that's as simple as it is, plain and simple. I got dreadlocks because I love them. There's no other purpose behind it other than I love dreadlocks. I love the way they look. I always get weird looks because when I see somebody walking by in public, I'll admire their dreadlocks. And I always get weird looks, but it always starts conversations, and it starts conversations. The next time I'll see them go through, and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, it's the dreadlock guy," and I was like, "Yeah," and but anyway, that's why I got dreadlocks, because I love them. And all right, so let's go back to the beginning. I've had my hair grew out numerous times throughout my life, but around 2008, I had real long hair. It was down my back, and I was contemplating dreadlocks. I was talking to my wife, trying to talk her into it, talking to her about it and everything, and just so happened around that same time, one of my friends that moved away came to visit. And when they came to visit, they brought a friend with them. That friend had the freeform neglect dreadlocks. Now, I personally don't have anything against them. It's not my preference, but I don't have nothing against them. But my wife seen that. She was like, "Nope, you're not having those on your head. No, not gonna happen." So let it go. Pretty much went out the window at that point. And then fast forward to 2012. I had my hair cut. I had it shaved on the sides, long on top like I do now. And I like being different. I like standing out. Around that time, it's like all of a sudden, boom, I seen this haircut everywhere. And I'm just the type of person that's like, well, let me do something different. I'm like, I'm a grown man. I don't want to be dyeing my hair in the crazy colors or anything like that, which seems kind of hypocritical when I get to later on in the story. But I was like, dreadlocks. Let me get dreadlocks. Somehow I stumbled across the video on YouTube about dreadlocks, and I was like, oh, dreadlocks. Let me get those. So I talked my wife into, didn't talk her into it, but I convinced her that I could maintain them and keep them up and keep them nice and neat. So she was, we went about getting them, and I talked to a lady at work, and she worked in a salon. She's like, yeah, I could twist up your hair for you. I could get it locked for you. So I go to her salon. They go and spend about 20 minutes trying to twist my hair. Nothing was working. So they were like, well, we could braid your hair, and then the braids will eventually turn into locks. Thinking to myself, well, I've had my hair braided before. If I wash them, they come right out. If I don't wash them, they get so oily that they come right out. So that's not going to work. But I said, screw it. I wanted something different. I went in there. I got my braids. So I got some box braids, and I was like, well, you know what? I got my hair sectioned. I'm going to go ahead and use these sections, and I'll start my locks. So I went on YouTube, did a little bit of research. I came across a couple of videos. It's in the backcombing method. So I said, I could do this, I could do that. So I went to the store, found a comb for teasing. It was a metal comb, and I was like, yeah, I could do this. Got that, went home, my hair was sectioned and everything, took the braids out, back combed my hair. Okay, I didn't do enough research, point blank, period. Looking back on it now, they were actually back combed pretty good. But I was wanting immediate results. I didn't do my research. I had them for about a month. I got some beeswax, some Murray's beeswax, put it in my dreads. Well, the petroleum in it, they just fell out. Well, in a drunken stupor, I went and shaved my head. All this happening in the same night. I went and shaved my head. I was very mad at myself, very upset with myself. I'd been growing my hair out at that point for about 5 to 6 months. It was about 6 inches long, you know, hanging down in my face, and I was like, I was upset. I decided then I was going to do the research, the actual research. And I'm sorry, I keep looking away from the camera. I'm not used to this. Usually when I'm in front of the camera, I'm spitting lyrics that are already known. I know what I'm going to say. This is a little awkward to me. I'm not used to talking to a camera. But let me get back onto the subject. I got so I did start doing my research. I went on the YouTube and searched just about every video on dreadlocks that I could come across. Well, the first time I got my dreads, I had about 60 some, so they were real small dreadlocks. And I took that. That's why they were doing the way they were doing, because in every video I seen, or not every video, but a lot of videos, they said the thicker the dreadlock, the faster it would lock up, the smaller, you know, the more time it took. So I sit there and I was doing my research. I stumbled across Dreadhead HQ, and I liked what they were talking about. I tried some of their products, so I ordered one of their kits, the waxless kit, and then I ordered some shampoo and stuff. I'm not sure exactly. It's been years and years ago, so I'm not sure exactly how it came packaged or whatever. But great products, by the way. I'm not endorsed by them or anything like that, but great products. I was using those the whole time, and I waited about, like I said, I waited about 5 months. It was about sometime in May when I started my dreadlocks again. I also stumbled across Baggy Boy on YouTube. Great videos, check him out on there. And I liked the idea of what he was going with, which was he dyed his hair blonde originally, so he'd have blonde tips. So I said, hey, my hair's short, so when it grows out, the tips will be blonde. So that's what I did. I dyed my hair blonde, I bleached it blonde, and then I started again. I had them back combed. Everything went good, you know. There was a couple times, I think after the first wash, a couple of them almost fell out. But by this time I had already done my research, so I seen that okay, that's normal, you know, that's going to happen. So I went along this journey, and I had my dreadlocks for 2 years, right there at 2 years. Whenever it got 2 years, I'm not sure what happened. It was like I reached that point, and I kind of got to the point where it was like I went for bigger sectioning, because I always heard bigger locks lock faster, so I went for the bigger sectioning. I had the same haircut I have now, which is shaved on the sides, long on top. So I had about 30 dreads this last time, and they were so thick, and that's what a lot of people don't talk about. The thick dreads, they're just like, that's it. They really don't have too much movement in them or anything. It's just they're stiff. They move when you move. They don't really have too much to them, you know. It's just, and I loved my dreadlocks. I loved them and everything, and I just decided one day out the blue, it was like I was about to get to that point, because I was about to get to the wash. It was a couple of days since my last wash, and I was about to wash them again, and I said, you know what? I said, I had been contemplating it for a while at this point. Like I said, I was at my 2 years, and I had been contemplating it for a while. I'm in the wilderness. But I ended up deciding to cut them, and